Hi, isang magandang umaga sa iyo. First of all, I would like to say thank you for being here. It means to say that you are very responsible in your learning process. So I hope you are more than ready to listen with this discussion. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to discuss your lesson number 19 to 21. And allow me to share my screen. Okay, class, basically, I'm not going to have my presentation, but we will be um, more focused on the module because the module is sufficient. Okay, so I hope that while listening with this discussion, you have your modules with you so that you can put highlights and you can write something that is not written in the content notes, which is relatively relevant with the content notes. Okay, so this is your lesson number 19. The topic that we have here has something to do with um, fake news and trolling. And the most important thing to discuss here is the steps on how to combat fake news and trolling. Okay, so you already know that fake news is unethical, no? Same with trolling. Okay, so if you are a person who is promoting fake news or trolling, then definitely it is um, somehow a reflection that you are doing something which is unethical or immoral. Okay, so here there are ethical challenges of determining the truth in social media posts. Okay, and again, if we're going to have the definition of social media, okay, it is already understood by us that it is actually a platform. Okay, and so to speak, it is an interactive computer mediated technologies. Okay, that facilitate the creation and sharing of information, ideas, career interests, and other forms of expression via virtual communities. Okay, it means to say that it makes us interactive in sharing our stand, sharing our opinions, providing awareness to people, and whatnot. Okay, mean to say if we have this platform and this is actually a product of technology, no, particularly the computer, the gadgets that we have, okay, we need to become irresponsible netizens. Because if we're not going to become a responsible netizens, then for other people, we are unethical or immoral, or um, worse is we can actually violate the law. And if we violate the law, we can have punishment, okay, to be imposed upon us. Okay, now, since you already know what social media is, okay, there are things that we need to avoid. Okay, first, misinformation. So when we say misinformation, this is sharing false information in any media, no, particularly in social media. And regardless of whether or not there is intent to mislead. Okay, meaning to say, um, even without the intention to mislead, but you're sharing something that is false, okay, in our social media, that is misinformation. Because if other people would believe you by sharing believe you because of what you have shared, then automatically that is considered to be misinformation. Okay? So whether or not there is intent to mislead, okay, kung meron man pong yung parang deliberate intent or yung purpose po, okay, na i-mislead yung mga tao, kung meron man or wala, okay, but as long as you're sharing the information, particularly the wrong information, the false information, that's what you call misinformation. Okay, so the second one that we need to avoid is disinformation. When we say disinformation, there is deliberate intent to mislead, okay, or to provide that biased information, manipulative narrative of facts, or that propaganda. Okay, unlike misinformation, in the disinformation, there is the deliberate intent to mislead. Okay, meaning um, we are um, serious in misleading people, in providing biased information or false information. Okay, and if we are doing that, it is disinformation, not misinformation. This is actually observable in the social media, especially if one has black propaganda. Okay, so that what to call disinformation. Okay, now we have fake news or junk news or pseudo news. Okay, this is actually a type of yellow journalism or propaganda that consists of delivery information or hoaxes spread via traditional print or broadcast news media or the social media. Okay, and again, we have a lot of fake news, particularly now that it is the season of the election. So there are people who are promoting or providing fake news in social media, and it could be a black propaganda so that they can defeat their opponents. Okay, in the different factors. Okay, first we need to know that if you share fake news, basically you're not sharing the truth, meaning you are covering what is the truth, or in other words, you are only sharing something that is not factual. Okay, not factual. Okay, so if you are always in social media and you have that critical thinking, okay, definitely um, you can find a lot of fake news, particularly if you are a wide reader and you don't just believe with the post or with the statement, but um, you are checking the sources, the author, the date, among others. Okay, so it's important that we have that critical thinking. Okay, now okay, let's go to trolling. Okay, so trolling, okay, um, the word who is doing this is actually troll. Okay, so troll is a person who starts quarrel or upsets people on the internet to distract and sow discord by posting inflammatory and disgressive extraneous or off-topic messages in online community, okay, such as news group, forum, chat group, or blog, with the intent of provoking readers into displaying emotional responses and normalizing tangential discussion, whether for trolls, amusement, or specific gain. Okay, for example, if you are a troll person, what you are doing is you are actually the one initiating quarrel, no? Pinag-aaway mo yung mga tao, or um, gumagawa ka ng paraan para hindi maging united yung tao, um, dinidistract mo sila. This is actually a nuisance. Okay, if you're doing trolling, you're actually a nuisance, no? Nuisance in the internet, meaning you're actually doing something that will provide chaos or war or misunderstanding. Okay, but the platform here is definitely the social media. Okay, so we need to avoid the trolling, okay, for self-interest, for our self-interest, or for a specific gain, or we need to avoid it if what especially if our purpose is just um, to to have that trip, no? If trip lang natin, Okay? Trip lang natin. We must not do it because this is actually a nuisance. Okay? Now, there are things on how to spot fake news. Okay, so we have here um, 8 steps on how to spot fake news. Okay, so first we need to consider the source, meaning to say we need to understand where the statement or the post came from. Okay, so we need to know the purpose, the mission, and facts about the source. Okay, if we already knew, okay, that the source is legit, if the source is providing something that is factual or relevant, okay, in our society or on a specific um, um, events or purpose, then definitely um, we should not consider it as a fake news. But if otherwise, then that is fake news. Okay. So number two, we need to read beyond the headline. Okay. Yes, I understand that one of the best thing to do if you are a reader is that you have to consider the headline because if you will read the headline, you can actually understand the whole content of the um, the article or the statement. Okay, but in order for you to um, know further the content and to make sure that it is not an example of fake news, you really have to understand the whole story. Okay, because if you cannot understand or if you would not understand or read the whole story, okay, it is possible that um, it is misleading on your part because you just consider the part of the story, okay, um, that the best thing to do is to know the whole story, um, to be more specific and to have a good summary of the article or the statement. Okay, so number three naman class. Okay, you have to check the authors. Okay, this is very important, no? Because if you know that the person um, is real or credible, okay, because they should have the credentials, they should have good platform. Because if they do not have credentials or if they do not have a good platforms or intentions why they're writing something or they're sharing something, then definitely they are not good authors. Okay, so we should know the importance of checking the background of the authors in order to avoid fake news. Number four naman class, we have to assess the supporting sources, okay, to ensure they support the claims. Okay, we need to check, okay, or to assess the supporting sources or the other sources. Okay, we can have research if we have read something um, that is providing us the benefit of the doubt, then we should have a research, and that research would help us to validate whether or not the statement or the content is um, truthful. Okay, if it has basis or not. Okay, so it's important that we're doing research. Number five, we have to check the date of publication. Definitely, it's very important because if the news um, was written last year or a few years ago, and if it is um, the one shared which people um, connect it to the present or consider it um, to be um, to be timely, no, consider it to be um, the one that happened just this year, then definitely that is not good to do. That can actually provide fake news, because considering the different timeline, or the different date which the event or the statement was posted or happened. Okay, so it's important that we are very critical in checking the date of the publication. Okay, so number 6, class. Well, we need to um, know if the the article or the statement is not a joke. If it is not a joke, or if it's providing something that is relevant and serious, no, or something that is um, happen. Okay, and if we do that, definitely we can say whether or not the statement is joke or not. Okay, because sometimes there are people who are making serious things as funny, no, they are just doing it because they want to have they have a lot of time, okay, to mislead the people, or um to have these jokes, okay, to people. Okay, so number 7 naman po, class, we have to review our own biases to see if they are affecting your judgment. Okay, so there are articles which are considered to be biased. Okay, if you say if an article is biased, meaning it only considers the um the one side of the story, or it only considered, or actually um um promoting um the one person, no, if he is just doing that, if he is just promoting one person, or um only having the one side of the story, then definitely there is bias there. Because if you want to avoid bias or being biased, you have to consider the sides of the story. You should not only focus on one person, but you have to consider um, everything, or meaning you have to have that holistic approach in order to know more or know better the story. Okay, so that you can present it to, if you're the author, so that you can present it to the people properly. Okay, and number 8, okay, as experts, to get confirmation from independent people with knowledge. Okay, it's important that we should consult people who are experts in the topic related to what someone posted. Okay, for example, if you um, have seen a post which is debatable, okay, um, you will need to consult to an expert. Meaning, if the topic, for example, has something to do with health, okay, then you have to ask a person who is knowledgeable, who is expert in the field of medicine, okay, or anything that is related to health. If okay, another example, if the person is I mean, if the topic, no, if the topic that is debatable, or if you do not agree with what the writer wrote in his or her article, okay, about his or her contention, and if for you what he provided in his article is lack of basis, legal basis. Okay, if that has something to do with legal basis, then you should consult someone that is knowledgeable with the law, or you can consult a lawyer, okay, if you know someone, so that they can verify whether or not um, the topic or the content has legal basis. Because if it has no legal basis and he's telling someone without it, then definitely it could be taken against him. Okay, so those are the steps on how to avoid, on how to spot fake news. Okay, so we can only have solutions for fake news if we consider all of the things which I've discussed. Okay, now um, ethics in social media. Okay, actually, as I said earlier, ethics must be applied in social media, no? Because if we are not applying ethics in social media, um, we cannot actually maintain the purpose why we have social media. We cannot um, promote um, the very essence of having social media, and it is to have interaction with people, not to promote chaos, misunderstanding, and not to promote any immoral actions. Okay, that is why we must always apply um, things which are ethical, things which are moral in social media, because somehow it is our reflection of what kind of person we are. Okay, what kind of netizens we are in using social media. Okay, like with our Facebook account, Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. Okay, so here um, sometimes, no, according to author of this author, no, what is ignored here is ethics in using it. We're just using it without having that social responsibility, without being responsible. Okay, so if we are responsible, then definitely we can promote ethics in social media. Um, the lack of public awareness related to ethics and social media will trigger some social problems. Okay, so we need to promote this ethics in the public, particularly people who are using social media, so that we can we can have appropriate and immediate solutions with our concerns, particularly if the concern is the concern of the majority. Okay, so that it will not be difficult to solve these concerns. Okay, so here there are things to consider. Okay, first, we must know that ethics is very important in communication. Okay, that is why when we were young, we were kids, one of the um, responsibilities of our parent is actually to teach us how to be moral in speaking or in communicating with other people with that with the politeness, because if we are not polite, then um, that can actually affect our reputation. Okay, so our parents um, actually provided us the principle of um, of good communication. Why it is important to have this um, good communication by being polite. Okay, in our everyday lives. Okay, so here the most common case that is appearing is many abusive words during a conversation through social networking, both intentionally or unintentionally. Okay, so it is actually very evident that we have young kids who are not using polite words, or in other words, they are actually, particularly if they are playing, they're actually saying bad words, okay, which is not ideal, okay, because if they're doing that, it is a reflection of what kind of parents they have. Okay, if they are playing and they are uttering bad words, no, not only an expression, because if it's an expression, somehow, no, we can consider it as unintentionally. But if they are doing that intentionally, if they are addressing that bad words to their playmates, or to the or to people around them, then definitely their parents failed um, in educating them why it is very important to become polite. Okay, so um, always use the correct language when we communicate to anyone through social media. No, particularly in social media. No, um, if we are observing people, they're actually having bad language or bad words in promoting what they believe in supporting their candidates, because we have this upcoming election, and there are people who do not know how to use good words in order to encourage everyone to support their claim or to support their candidates. Okay, that is why if you know this, no, if you are polite, okay, as a person, you should avoid using bad words in order to support your political candidate. Okay, so now number two, we need to avoid spreading race, pornography, and violent issues. No, okay. Actually, race, pornography, and other issues related to it are very critical to become a topic in social media. No, um, says here that it would be nice if we do not spread information relates to certain race or religion. No, yeah, but um, including religion, in order to have good understanding, okay, with the other people, we must not discuss religion, okay, um, in a wrong time. Okay, if because if we are discussing religion in a wrong time or without a good timing, we can actually offend someone, particularly if you're saying that is against the thinking, against the belief system of that other person. Okay, that is why we need to avoid discussing religion with bad timing, no, or during um, the wrong timing. Okay, so here, share useful information only, and avoid conflict to others, and uploading violent photos such as traffic accident or other violent images. Okay, so first, yes, it's very important that we share useful information, just like providing awareness to people. Okay, and here, aside from that, we need to avoid conflict to others. Okay, by an example is uploading violent photos. For example, um, the image of person who um, who was a victim of an accident. Okay, was definitely um, it is you're violating the privacy of the person, particularly if the face of the person is not pleasant, or if for the audiences the photos will irritate them or will upset them. So you have to avoid sharing something that is not pleasant, or in other words, can upset the people. No, an example is the accident photos. Okay, so aside from that, we need to check the news validity. Okay, so you have to know if the news is valid or not. Okay, before you share the news, it would be wiser to check if the news is valid or not. Okay, simple as that. Okay, if the news really happened or not. Okay, if it was happened, then definitely you can share it, particularly if you are providing awareness to people. Okay, so number four, appreciate others work, no, because there are people who do not know how to show their appreciation to others. If they are grabbing the credit which they did not actually do it, no, the product or the the um, the article, if they did not do it, then they should, if they want to share it to others, then they should put the credit, so that the people will know who did the work, who did the article, who did the product. Okay, simple as that. Okay, because we cannot um, actually, it is immoral to grab the credit for others' work. Okay, it is actually immoral or unethical. Okay, so number five, do not share personal information too much. Okay, it's very important, no? Particularly if you want to become a responsible netizens, you cannot share everything. Your private details, like private information, no? You cannot share it all in social media and your um, information, because you are actually exposing yourself. You are not because you do not know, it could be used for certain crimes. Okay, or they can use your information in doing crimes. Okay, so we must not provide everything in social media, because especially if you put your profile in the public, no, or um, in other words, people can actually see everything about you, about your personal information, about your pictures, your thoughts, among others, no, then definitely that is not ideal. Okay, that is why sometimes it's better to become private than to become public. Okay, because you can live in harmony if you are just sharing um, very limited information about you. Okay, or if you're just sharing what are just okay to share. Okay, anyway, those are the things which we must know. Okay, so that we can have ethics in social media. Okay, but of course, if you have things in your mind which are not written in the module, okay, that is also correct, no, because ethics in social media could also be subjective. So you can have more thoughts, you can have more ideas on how to become ethical in social media. Okay, but basically what we have discussed um, was the summary of being ethical in social media. Okay, so we're done with your um, lesson number 19. Let's go now with your lesson number 20. Your lesson number 20 um, has something to do with bioethical issues, no, particularly on abortion, euthanasia, and suicide. Okay, so the term bioethics comes from the Greek word bios. Okay, so which means behavior. Okay, bioethics is the study of ethical issues emerging from advances in biology and medicines. Okay, so again, bioethics is the study of ethical issues emerging from advances in biology and medicine. Okay, because there are things which are um, needed to discuss when it comes to um, biology and medicine as far as ethics is concerned. Okay, so the first bioethical issue that we need to know is suicide. And actually, we do not promote suicide because we want to enjoy our life. We want others to realize how how blessed they are in having their life, how it important the life that we all have. Because if you are not taking care of your own life, okay, you cannot have um, quality of life. Okay, and worse if we do not know how to um, encourage everyone to to take care of their life, then definitely if they feel depressed, if they feel lonely, if they feel that they have all the problems and in life, okay, they can commit suicide. But of course, if we can do something, no, if we can prevent them from doing this, then that is actually a good contribution. We're doing our social responsibility, okay, as a human. Okay, you need to know, guys, that if you, for example, no, because there are people who are committing suicide. If they did suicide, okay, they did not actually um, have any criminal liability. In other words, there's no law punishing someone who committed suicide. Okay, for example, A committed suicide. So basically, okay, if he is already dead, if successfully um, he ended his life, then definitely if you're going to check the law, there's no law punishing him. Okay, and by having the logic, okay, you cannot provide criminal liability or any punishment for the person who committed suicide, because you cannot put that person in the jail. And it is nonsense if you're going to um, imprison the dead. Okay, it is actually not ideal, and it is not not having any logical thoughts. Okay, so now you need to know that we have a certain provision in the revised penal code punishing, okay, people who will assist suicide, who will assist the person to commit suicide. Okay, so if you don't know this, okay, you have to know that we should not assist someone to commit suicide. Instead, we must encourage him or her not to commit suicide. Okay, because if we did something that helped the person to commit suicide, then definitely we can be liable um, with Article 253, okay, in the revised penal code. You have to take note, class, okay? So if you are listening now, you have to take note that Article 253 of the revised penal code has something to do with giving assistance to suicide. So any person who shall assist another to commit suicide shall suffer the penalty of prison major if such person leads his assistant to another, okay, to the extent of doing killing himself. He shall suffer from um, penalty of reclusion temporal. Okay, so basically, we should not assist someone to commit suicide because we will be criminally liable for that. Okay, we can be imprisoned for um, providing assistance, okay, to someone in committing suicide. Okay, so that's it. Let's go now with euthanasia. So euthanasia, class, has something to do with painless killing of a patient suffering from an incurable and painful disease. Okay, so if we know some stories, though, if we um, if we were able to observe um, um, events or situation like this, no, if the patient is really suffering from the disease that he has, okay, then definitely if there is a consent coming from um, that patient, no, or if the patient cannot actually provide or his or her consent, no, if the family decided, okay, that that in order to stop the suffering of the patient, um, they should give up, or they should um, they should have that good purpose to kill or to end the life of the person, okay, in consideration of the suffering. Okay, that's what euthanasia is. That is why, okay, it is really up to the patient or to the family of the patient, no. But without that suffering, without that consent, okay, no one can actually kill the life of a patient, particularly our frontliners, our nurses and um, doctors, okay, if they have patients, and if the patient can still survive, can still fight whatever health challenges he has, then definitely he must not do euthanasia. Okay, this is only for serious suffering with the consent of the patient or consent of the family to end the life of the patient. Okay, so that's euthanasia. We have here abortion. Okay, so abortion, as discussed in your P1, this is something to do with, with um, that terminating a human pregnancy. Okay, because we have two kinds of abortion. First, we have the intentional abortion, and second, we have the unintentional abortion. Okay, so first thing to know, that we need to know, is the definition of abortion. And based on your module, this is actually an ending of pregnancy due to removing an embryo or fetus before it can survive outside the uterus. Okay, so an abortion that occurs spontaneously is also known as miscarriage. When the deliberate steps are taken to and a pregnancy, it is called induced abortion. Okay, so if there is deliberate steps or intention to end pregnancy, that is what you call induced abortion. Okay, or in other words, no, this is what you call induced miscarriage. Okay, so first let's go with intentional abortion. Okay, so what is intentional abortion? Okay, in Article 256, again, intentional abortion refers to willful killing of the fetus in the uterus, or the violent expulsion of the fetus from the maternal womb of the mother. Okay, so there should be willful killing, meaning may kagustuhan na alisin po yung fetus, or alisin po um, yung may buhay na bata sa sinapupunan ng kanyang ina. Okay? So that is intentional abortion. And there are ways how to commit intentional abortion that of course we must avoid. Okay? Particularly that this is intentional abortion, we must avoid it. Okay, first, by using any violence upon the person of the pregnant woman, meaning if there are any violence, okay, which use in order to remove the fetus, okay, from the womb of the mother, then that is considered to be one of the ways of committing an intentional abortion. Okay, second, okay, by acting without using violence, okay? By acting without using violence, meaning kung kanina may violence, dito sa pangalawa, pwede rin yung walang violence, okay? And and also without the consent of the woman. Okay, so without the violence, without that physical torture, without that physical injury among others, no, and without also that consent of the woman or the mother, no, if the person is put any drugs, okay, or something, okay, in the foods or in the beverages of the pregnant woman without again the consent, okay, without that um, agreement, okay, okay, if the person did that to that pregnant woman, then that is one of the way, okay, of one of the ways of committing intentional abortion. Okay, that's why we must not do this, because if someone did it, okay, you are liable with intentional abortion. Okay, so those are the two ways um, which are punishable, okay, in intentional abortion. Okay, now let's go to Article 257. This is what you call unintentional abortion. Okay, unintentional abortion has elements. Okay, of course, the first element, there should be a pregnant woman. Okay, and second, the violence is used upon such pregnant woman without intending an abortion. Okay, again, you need to know that the violence that was done must not be um, must not be intending an abortion, meaning just the violence, no, without the purpose of intending an abortion, meaning the person um, who um, did the violence had no intent to cause an abortion of the pregnant woman, okay, or pregnant mother, okay. So the third one, okay, the violence is intentionally exerted, okay. So that violence without an intending abortion, okay, without intending an abortion, must be intentional exerted. Ano yung intentional dito, class? Is yung violence lamang. Okay? Yung violence dapat sinadya niya, dapat intentional yun. Okay? Um, para ma-consider na unintentional abortion. Okay, but then again, that violence must not be intending an abortion. Number four, that as a result of the violence of the fetus dies. Okay, um, either in the womb or having been expelled therefrom. Okay, so the violence, okay, that was done by a person, okay, um, because of that, no, because of that violence, the fetus died. Okay, it could be either in the womb, doon sa sinapupunan nung ng pregnant mother, or pagkatapos maalis yung bata, okay, from the womb. Okay, for example, miscarriage, okay, because binugbog mo yung pregnant woman, no, without any intention to um to have that abortion, okay. If you did that, and the if the product was that the fetus died, or the fetus died inside the womb, or because the mother had miscarriage, then definitely you are liable with an intentional abortion. Okay? Ganun lang naman po yung difference nilang dalawa. Okay? So that's Article 256, intentional abortion, and Article 257, unintentional abortion. Okay. So going back with your module, okay, by understanding further abortion, we need to check the stand of the churches or the religions that we have, no, particularly in this portion. Okay, we're going to check the stand of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, and according to the Roman Catholic Church, this abortion is a grave moral wrong. Okay, meaning to say it is very serious. No, it is a very serious sin. Okay, or a very serious conduct of being immoral. Okay, so we're considered immoral if we did abortion. Okay, or we caused abortion to someone, because again, it is a matter of life. Okay, and life must be um, protected. Life um, must be highlighted because of its importance. Okay. Now, generally speaking, if you actually read the module, the Catholic Church is against abortion. Okay, intentional or unintentional abortion, because we have no rights, or in other words, killing is killing by this or having this abortion is never justifiable. Okay, we can never justify abortion, be it intentional or unintentional. Okay, so class, um, yes, if you have read the module, you will know how crucial it is to become pregnant. It is, you know, how crucial it is um, to make a woman pregnant, because there are um, health issues. No, there are health issues which can affect um, the um, the the decision or the plan um, to make a woman pregnant uh, if the couple wants to have a child. Then definitely they should be healthy. They should um, make sure that they are doing something that can result into a successful pregnancy. Okay, because if they are not considering that, then definitely they cannot have a child. Okay, that is why it's very important to know that since pregnancy is crucial, it can if there's a violence to um, to do to that pregnant woman, we must know that it will not only make the child the life of the child in danger, no, but also the life of the mother. Okay, we can also affect the life of the mother if and when we did something um, that is against the pregnant woman, particularly violence. Okay. Now, by knowing the history, okay, since the 16th century, okay, if someone did an abortion, no, um, he is automatically excommunicated. Okay, meaning to say, he will not be considered as part of the church, no, because of that excommunication. Okay, so he will be um, kick off, okay, from the Catholic Church, okay, because they are really promoting anti um, abortion. Okay, they are really anti-abortion because of the importance of life. Okay, so the same thing in Islamic teachings on abortion. Generally speaking, no, for them, because we should know that they have different ways how to teach their beliefs, no, their belief system. Generally speaking, they are really against abortion. Okay, But there are some teachings who, or I mean, there are some teachings which permit the abortion. Okay, and it is possible only if the pregnancy would put the mother's life in danger. Okay, so if the pregnancy, okay, the product of pregnancy later or sooner will cause um, the mother's life in danger, then definitely no, for some Islamic teachings it is permitted. Okay, in that case only. Okay, kung mapapasama yung um, yung buhay, okay, or hindi maging successful yung pregnancy because of complication, because of other issues, then they are allowing it, okay, in that Islamic teaching. Okay, so we should know that we are actually promoting the sanctity of life. Okay, if you're going to analyze the different religions that we have, okay, we're actually providing the sanctity of life, because without the life, how can you have the other rights? Okay, so definitely, in order to enjoy other rights, we must promote the sanctity of life. Okay, so the protection of mother's life. Okay, so from Islamic teaching, no, sabi dito, Islam allows abortion to save the life of the mother, which I already provided you a while ago. Okay, because it sees that this as the lesser of two evils, and there is a general principle in Sharia, okay, Sharia law. Okay, that's actually the Muslim law, which is the one that they are using, no, of choosing the lesser, okay, of two evils. Okay, so we must have the lesser evil. Okay, and considering the situation of the mother who is in the danger, no, the life of the mother, which is endangered, then we must protect the life of the mother, since the mother has the life. Okay, and he has been surviving for couple of years already. Okay, so of course, for them, it's important to save the mother's life than the fetus, because they are having that assumption that the pregnancy will um, will not be successful, and worse is it can cause death of the mother. Okay, or can also cause the death of the mother and the child. Okay, it's possible. Okay, so I discussed already what euthanasia is a while ago. Okay, so now we do have kinds of euthanasia. First, we have voluntary. Okay, when we say voluntary class, euthanasia is conducted with consent, meaning the patient provided consent, or the family of the patient provided consent. Okay, that's what you call voluntary. So meaning to say, if there is a consent coming from the patient, okay, particularly if he is suffering, and he already know that it is already his time to die, then definitely, okay, with that consent, uh, that is considered to be voluntary euthanasia. Okay, so the other one is non-voluntary. Okay, so when we say non-voluntary class, this is a kind of euthanasia which is conducted on a person who is unable to consent or to provide consent due to their current health condition. Meaning to say, um, since it is very observable that the patient is dying, or the patient is really suffering from his or her illness, okay, and he cannot provide his or her consent, okay, um, the immediate family, if they have provided the consent that they want to end the suffering of the patient or their family member who is critically ill, okay, so if they provided that consent, or the immediate family provided the consent to um to kill, okay, or to end the life of their family member, okay, to be free from the agony, okay, that is what you call non-voluntary, okay. So um we also have here involuntary, okay. This involuntary is actually against the law, okay, because this is a kind of euthanasia, wherein a person who would be able to provide um, informed consent, okay, does not, okay, meaning to say the one who perform the ending of the life of the person does not receive any permission, any consent from the patient or from the family or the immediate family of the patient. Okay, so if the doctor or the nurse or anyone did that to the patient, that is involuntary euthanasia, and it is considered to be murder. Okay, and it is against the law. Okay, of course, it is murder because the patient is helpless, okay, particularly if it's intentional, if there is a plan to kill the person, no, just like in the teleserie, no, um, we have seen a lot of circumstances like this, wherein if um, if the person is in a critical condition, or if the person is really suffering from his or illnesses, and the if the enemy of that person, okay, um, went to his room in the hospital and remove all the supporting paraphernalias, okay, or supporting materials which helps the patient to survive, okay, just like in the teleserye, that is against the law because it is plan, okay, planado ito, and it is actually immoral, okay, that is why it is murder. Okay, so suicide, I've already discussed this a while ago, okay, that um, generally speaking, we do not encourage this one, okay, we do not encourage everyone to commit this one, okay, because again, we want others to value their lives, we want others that the state is also protecting the life of everybody, okay, but what yeah, if suicide is not or does not provide penalty, or does not provide or impose imprisonment as a penalty for the one who did it, particularly if um, yeah, by having the logic, if we're going to do that, no, if we're going to put the dead person in prison, what's the sense? Okay, so there's no law that provide punishment for someone who committed suicide. Okay, so what is provided with the punishment, no, or um, written in the law, particularly in RPC, is actually providing assistance, okay, in committing suicide. So we should not assist someone to commit suicide. Okay, so actually, there are a lot of things to consider why someone is trying to kill his or her life. Okay, because of a lot of factors like a different problem, being hopeless, and the other things which are related to it. Okay, so in order to provide, in order to prevent, no, and to control um, the suicide cases, we need to um, inform or educate people the importance of their lives. No, why is it important to embrace the challenges, embrace the problems, and why it is important to educate them that ending their lives um, is not actually the proper solution, or is not actually the best solution. Okay, there are ways on how to cope with it, or there are ways on how um, to survive. Okay, despite of the hardships or difficulties that we have been encountering in our lives. So class, you have to read the ways on how to combat suicide. Okay, particularly you should have, okay, in general, no, if I'm going um, to summarize, no, things which are written in your module, there should be um, a defense mechanism. Okay, there should be a defense mechanism so that we cannot um, lead, okay, to that solution to end our lives despite of the difficulties. Okay, and also if we need to see a doctor because our mind is not working properly, or if we are depressed, if we have psychological problems, then we need to see a doctor, get advice from them, and take the medications. Or if you do not want to take the medications, you can have therapy, no, because there are therapy which do not provide or which do not require you to take medicine. Okay, just have that, for example, that meditation, do something that will help you um, forget your problem. Okay, among others. Okay, even without taking medications, it can be solved. Okay. Okay, so if we know someone who have warning signs, then definitely, if we can share something that can help the person not to uh, end his or her life, then definitely we must um, provide it. Because if we're not going to do that, then it will be too late if we're going to do that later. Okay, if particularly if someone committed suicide, okay, before we provide our advices, no, provide our steps on how to fight, okay, the depression, or to change that plan to commit suicide. Okay, so it's important that we are um, having that productive talk. Okay, without that productive talk, we cannot communicate to that person, no, that person who feels that he is lonely, he is very depressed, among others. So we need to talk to him and encourage him or her that life is not not only about happiness. Life is not only about um, being successful. Life is also about having these problems or concerns, so that we can be more strong, and so that we can be prepared in a more um, challenging events or circumstances in life. Okay, so aside from talk, we have also mood, no. We must do something that can change our mood. We can do something that can make us relax and makes us um, um, embrace no these um, um, bad bad moods, because sometimes if we do not know how to embrace it, okay, it can actually lead to depression. Okay, that is why um, we need to know how to um, change our mood, no, with that strategies or defense mechanism. Okay, we have here behavior, no? Yeah, it's a behavior that is already inherent to you, meaning that is already you. So make sure that what you are doing is something that is good for your health, that is good for your mind, okay, that provides you the general um, comfort or general um, um, happiness. Okay, because if you're not doing it, no, if you are not aware with your behavior, if you're not doing something that is in adherence to having good behavior, then definitely it can um, lead you to suicide. Okay, that is why we need to have talk. We need to check or to change our mood, and also to have good behavior. Okay, in order to combat, in order to fight suicide. Okay, so now we're done with your lesson number 20. Let's go with your lesson number 21. Okay, in your lesson number 21 class, no, okay, so here we'll be studying about killing, no, which I've already discussed with you in P1, okay, and also the principle of self-defense. Um, yeah, self-defense is one of the issue, because in self-defense it's possible that you can kill someone. Okay, of course it is unintentionally. Okay, because self-defense must be unintentional, because if it's intentional, then that is against the law. Okay, that is considered to be homicide, murder, or um, other other crime which is related to killing. No, depends on the circumstances. Okay, so as I said in the previous meeting, okay, or in your P1, okay, the generic term for killing, no, if you killed someone, or if you ended the life of one person, okay, the generic term is homicide in the absence of the um, the um, circumstances. In the absence of any circumstances, for example, if you are not sure, no, hindi ka sure uh, kung ito ay parricide, kung ito ay murder, kung ito ay infanticide, okay, if there is killing, no, without the circumstances, okay, so that is homicide. Okay, it is again the killing of one person, okay, by another, and it is against the law. Okay, now murder, okay, with the circumstances which are or which were present in a crime, no, if there is killing, no, particularly not only killing, but there is an intention, or that a plan to kill, no, we call it premeditation. Tandaan niyo in class, okay, so pag may plano ka na gusto mong patayin yung isang tao, no, pinagplanuhang mabuti, that's what you call premeditation. Okay, and with the presence of premeditation, uh, it is considered to be murder. Okay, not anymore homicide. Okay, so since you know that already, let's go now with the principle of self-defense. Okay, again, if we say self-defense, it must be unintentional. You do not have any plan to kill the person, but uh, it, you did it because it is the best thing to do to protect your life and to escape from the danger, no? So there are things to consider, okay? That uh, with this, you have to read your RPC, our RPC, the revised penal code, because the revised penal code um, is the basis while self-defense is justified or justifiable. Okay, particularly in Article 11, Paragraph 1. Okay, so if you will check that in the internet or if you have the book, okay, self-defense is justified or justifiable. Okay, now okay, um, okay. So in our okay Article 11 of RPC, okay, there must be um, these following circumstances, because without these circumstances, okay, in the absence of one of these circumstances, it is not considered to be self-defense. Okay, the three circumstances must be present to consider that what you did, no, in order you killed someone to protect yourself from any harm, okay, is considered to be a justifying circumstance, or in other words, is considered to be a self-defense. Okay, the first one, there must be unlawful aggression. Okay, when we say unlawful aggression, um, uh, the other party or other person is, or actually was um, done something that is unlawful. Okay, so if we say aggression, no, um, um, like violence, if the person um, act violently, no, and by having a knife, for example, or by having a gun, and if he had that deliberate intent, or if he had that intention to kill you, no, for obvious reason, or based from common sense, no, that is actually against the law, no, that is what you call unlawful aggression. Okay, so there must be an unlawful aggression coming from the um, the other person. Okay, now number two, reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it. Okay, reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin nito, no, sa madaling salita, okay, para mas maintindihan ninyo, pag sinabi nating that reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it, make sure that um, you you do not have any choice. Okay, you do not have any choice why you did it, because if you are not going to did it, um, the other party, no, the other person, okay, who is um, having unlawful aggression, can cause death, no, can cause you death, no, if if um, you for example, kapag inunahan mo siya, no, and that is the reasonable necessity, you cannot do anything less than that, no. For example, you you um, you had that material, okay, and you use that as um, your means to defend your life. Okay, so that's reasonable. Okay, but make sure that um, if you did that, okay, really, okay, if you did that, um, really that was the best thing to do. Okay, to to be the one, okay, who will be the first to kill the other person. Okay, because again, there was an unlawful aggression. Okay, without that, you cannot justify, okay, killing that person, okay, because that is not reasonable to do. Okay, number three, lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person defending himself. Okay, so make sure that the person who is defending himself must have that lack of sufficient provocation. Ibig sabihin, hindi dapat niya prinovoke yung yung tao na papatayin sana siya, or in other words, hindi dapat siya yung nag-start, nag-initiate, okay, ng anumang bagay na ikagagalit, okay, na magiging rason kung bakit gagawin ng tao na yon, okay, na para patayin siya. Okay, meaning dapat dapat hindi piniprovoke, okay? Nung hindi nag-provoke yung tao na nagki-claim na ang ginawa niya lamang ay self-defense. Okay? Yan po yung ibig sabihin niyan. Dapat um, um, kung titingnan natin, wala siyang ginawa, okay? Na wala siyang contribution, okay? Na maging rason, okay, para patayin siya ng ibang tao. Okay, so that's what you call lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person defending himself. Okay, and again, if for example, with the three that was mentioned, the three circumstances, okay, if one is absent, no, that is not considered to be justifying circumstance, or that is not considered to be self-defense. All of these circumstances must be present, okay, in order to consider it as self-defense, or yeah, self-defense as a justifying circumstances in Article 11, paragraph 1 of the revised penal code. Okay, and again, if the person is claiming self-defense, and the Supreme Court or the regular court, no, the regular court, just like for example the regional trial court declared or decided that the action was justified because of self-defense, he is free from any liability, such as free from criminal liability, okay, and free from that civil liabilities because justified po. Okay, that's the very important, the importance of knowing the self-defense. Okay, because we can empower, okay, the people if they know that they are justified if and when they committed something, no, because of self-defense. Okay, I hope um, you've learned something from it, no? I will no longer discussing the other content of your lesson number 21, because basically you know already what war on drugs, no? What is the effects, no? Or rather, what are the effects of this particular war, okay, that was initiated by the president or the administration of our current president, okay, and if yeah, they have a good intention, okay, we cannot deny that, but um, if the means, no, if the means or if the effects are adverse, or in other words, if it is um, it is against our human rights, then definitely we must not promote it. Okay, so it is better if they should be careful. Okay, because if they're not careful, if they ended the life of an innocent man, no, then they must be liable for that. Okay, so I hope you will read these contents, because this will enlighten you. Okay, this will um, provide more information why uh, we must support or we must not support war on drugs of the current administration. Okay, so I think you've learned something today, and I hope that aside from the discussion, um, you will make sure that you will read the modules, okay, so that you will be prepared for your examination, okay. And if you did that, I'll promise you that you can have good uh, scores in your examination. Thank you so much for listening today, okay. And again, I do appreciate you as my student, because we are now finished in the, discussing all the modules, okay. And I have to congratulate you, okay, for making this far, okay. I hope that you will continue what you are doing, the courage that is being manifested, because you are now listening to me until this portion. So um, I really appreciate that. Okay, so thank you so much for listening, and good luck for your examination. Okay, again, this has been your teacher in Gen 006, Teacher LJ, signing off.